Hi, welcome back. This is Debbie. I hope that you are doing great. I am going to be doing a long-awaited, requested video on the colors I have in my MAC palettes. Now, first of all, let me talk about the palettes themselves. Now, they do have a new palette that has just come out on the market not too long ago that is a double palette that is somewhat shaped like this. So you open it up and you see the two clear sides, and you put your shadows or blushers, whatever you want to put in there, and then I think it has like MAC written over here. Now, I don't have any of those. I just have two of these, and these you can use either this way, or you can buy the inserts that go in here and then put each shadow in here. Now, if you do the inserts, you can fit 15, and I'm not sure how many you can fit if you do it this way. I think you could probably fit, let's see, there's like 15, 16, 17, maybe about 23, 24 shadows if you don't put the inserts. Now, on a regular basis, I have the inserts in there, but because I want to do swatches and I want to make it easier for you and me, I decided to take the insert out and then I will swatch them, and then I'll just go back and replace them later. Now, so far I only have two palettes. To be honest with you, MAC shadows are not something that I was always into. You know, I would have one or two, you know, of colors that I liked, but I never really got into the whole having a lot of them until I started buying more, and I realized that I really love the texture. I love the way they stay on. I love the way they blend for me, and I love the variety that you can get for in the colors, from neutrals like this to bright colors like this and more. So let's do the bright palette first. Now, I also have one that I have not depotted yet, and that is one I showed in a haul recently, and this is the color Smut. And this is going to be depotted, and I'm going to put this in the neutral palette because this is more of a neutral than a bright color. And I'm sorry if I'm looking in the viewfinder. Still trying to get used to that. Excuse me. Okay, so let's go over these colors. Now, they all have a magnet, and some of these are ones that I depotted, and some are ones that I bought already depotted. So let's just, I'll start from the top. And the first color that I have in the colorful palette that I like to call is actually a limited edition, and it's called Mythical. Now, this I have written in the back that it's a pearl, a Velux pearl, but I don't have all of the shades, what they are, if they're a Velux pearl, if they're a shimmer, if they're a matte, but if I can tell you, I will tell you. And this is called Mythical, and they do have, Mythological, excuse me, they do have a shade that is very, very similar to this, and I think it's called Mythical, but this is Mythological. I don't know the collection that it came from, but I bought this one at a CCO. And that is it swatched on my finger. And I'm just going to do finger swatches for the lack of time, I guess. And what I will try to do is I'm going to split this into the bright color palette, and then I will do a part 2 that will have my neutrals. Okay, so that's Mythical, and it's like kind of like a copper penny. Pretty color. I use it off and on. The next one I have, and this one is written in the back, this is called Cranberry. And what I've noticed is the newer ones that they're showing or selling in the stores, they don't take the time to write on the back what type of formulation this is. And this is a newer one for me. This is called Cranberry, and I'm sure that a lot of you have seen this, but I will swatch it anyway. And it's a real pretty, kind of like a rhubarb color, I would say. Now we're going to get into some purples because I do love my purples. Okay, this next one is also one that I bought what was I going to say? It wasn't in one of these. I bought it in the they call it the Pro Palette Refill. And it looks like this, and I got a little bit of water from my finger. And this is called Plum Dressing. This is another very pretty one. Try this finger. And that's the swatch on my finger. And it's just what it says. It's a plum, sort of with a pinky undertone. Very, very pretty. Next one is a lighter color in the purple family. And this is one that I bought in the pot like this. And I depotted it. And it's called Creme de Violet. And let me do this one. Is this dry? This is what the color looks like. It's a really pretty light violet color, sort of like a dark lilac, and that's how the swatch looks. Then the next one, staying in the purple family here, is Satellite Dreams. I'm going to go over to this hand because the other hand is drying. And this is a beautiful purple. It's just straight purple. I think it has sort of a little bit of a goldish undertone. There's no flecks in it when you look at it, but when you see it on like my finger, you could sort of see like a little gold undertone in there. That's the thing I like about, or one of the things I like about MAC shadows, is they're not hardly ever a flat color. There's always a mixture of some really pretty, not shimmer, but like a gold or a silver or a little bit of a black in a color. It's very pretty. Now this is a matte color, and this is called Fig 1. And they say that this makes the perfect smoky purple eye. And that is a swatch. Beautiful, beautiful pigmentation in that. And like I said, that's matte. And we have 3 more in the purple family, and then we'll get on to some greens and blues. Okay, the next one I'm going to show you is Vile Violet, and this was from the collection that they had out, oh, maybe it was 2 years ago already, the Disney Villains, and it's a really pretty, it's very similar to the Fig, except Fig is more of a true purple, and this is more of a blue purple. And let me do a little swatch on a dried finger. And that's the swatch on my finger. Very pretty. I know I keep saying very pretty for them, but I like all the colors I have. The next one is called Nocturnal, and it's more of a darker purple. Kind of like a purple brown. And that's what it looks like. And this one I also depotted too. And there's the true colors right there. And this next one is really a purple brown. And this is Sketch, and a lot of people keep this in their neutral palette, but I kept it in the colorful because I have so many different purples. This is a brown color that has a definite purple undertone, and I will swatch it for you on my finger. And that's the color. And in the camera, it sort of looks like it's black, but it really isn't. And I have that in the outer 2/3 of my eye, and I will put myself closer here so you can see. I have that right here, and then the rest is Satin Taupe, which I will show you in the neutral palette. Back up there. Okay, the next color we're going to show is my only green thus far. Well, actually I have a double pan, a duo that has Wisdom and Sage, but this is my only single shadow that's green thus far, and it is called Humid, and it's one of my favorite colors. It's so pretty. It's sort of like if you took moss green and Kelly green and mix them. and you would get this. Just beautiful, beautiful pigmentation for that. And they didn't write on the back of this one what kind of formulation it is. I'm sorry about that. Okay, the next one is a really cool color, and honestly I haven't used it yet, but I think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it in the summer. And this is Fresh Water. Look at that blue. It is just beautiful. And let me swatch it for you. And there's the swatch. In the pan, it looks a little different than on my finger. On my finger it looks more of a turquoise. So I'll be interested to know or to find out how it looks on my eyelid. And they say a lot of times to do swatches on your fingertips, because I heard this from, I don't know what makeup artist, but I can't remember the name of the person, but they said because the fingertips, the skin is very similar to the skin on your eyelids. And if you can hear it, we're starting to rain here, so I hope it doesn't make the sun go away too much. All right, the next color is Steamy, and this is like a greenish blue, and it looks frosty. Yeah, that's that color. Very pretty. There I go saying that. And the last of this palette is very similar to the color I just showed you that's called Steamy, but it's a little lighter, and this is Aphrodisiac. And where this is a little bit more green, this is a little bit more blue, this one. That's Aphrodisiac. And that's Aphrodisiac. I think that would make a very pretty liner either on the top lash line or the lower, or even both. Very pretty. Especially if you were going someplace, you know, near the beach or on the beach, some type of party, that would be really pretty. Okay, so those are the colors I have thus far that are my bright colors. Now the next one that I will show you in the next video are my neutral palettes. So stay tuned for that one. I'll be back in a little bit.